Let's start.
Good evening, all. Welcome you all to this special session of Bengal Anushilan. And we are with Dr. Mohit Roy, the celebrated columnist, journalist, and also one of the pioneering citadels of Bengal's refugee struggle. Today, we are going to discuss on a very sensational event or session that's going on the Bangladesh turmoil and the Hindus and the Bangladesh turmoil endangering Hindus. As many of us know, and many of us do not know, it's that from 1947, the Hindus have been the worst victims in East Pakistan. And from 1971, when Bangladesh was created, to many, a reluctant nation was given to a reluctant people. The people that didn't want Bangladesh as an independent country, they wanted to be within the greater Pakistan, but with a provincial autonomy, but they were given a independence by India. And from that time on, the anti-India tirade or anti-Hindu Zingoism extended in that landscape by leaps and bounds. Already, no less than 50 anti-Hindu genocides have taken place. The Hindus that comprise 29% of the population once has reduced to mere 7.8%. And now, when Bangladesh is in turmoil again, the Hindus are in scepter of being targeted once more. What we have seen by now is that there are bloody episodes, lots of violence, hordes of dead bodies, and the several areas of Bangladesh spilled with blood. But at the end of the day, to many, this is no mere tourist movement or something that that's related to that reservation quota and everything, but it's directed against the Hindus. And it is having a huge repercussion on the Indo-Bangladesh border as well. We should remember that India shares its largest international border with Bangladesh only, and it's of 2,200 kilometers, and several areas are there where the border is poor still. Now the question remains whether India, who have been captivated or engrossed with the northern and western India till now, will put its concentration on the eastern zone, where Bangladesh has not become a terrorist zone only, but has become perhaps the deadliest area across the globe where lots of foreign conspiracies are going on. In this context, we have invited Dr. Mohit Roy, who is a celebrated journalist, columnist, environmentalist, and also one of the leading or pioneering citadels of the Bengal refugee movement, to speak on the same issue. To the audience, if you have any question, please write it in the box. And if you have any question to ask, you shall have to do by putting on the camera. But it shall be done when we shall ask you to raise the questions. Thank you very much. Now I'd like to begin with Dr. Roy. Dr. Roy, what's going on in Bangladesh is being pursued by us. But there is also a scepter of anti-Hindu mindset. Do you think this struggle is going to victimize the Hindus once more? Or the entire target of the India movement is the Hindus and nothing but us?
Thank you very much for inviting me here. Can you hear me? Is it clear?
Yes, clear, sir.
So, we have to first understand that Bangladesh is an Islamic country. And whatever happens, turmoil happens in Bangladesh, the Hindu issue will be dragged into that. Because that is a major sentiment for any kind of turmoil in any kind of Islamic country. And Bangladesh has given a kind of an image to the Western world, some kind of a very moderate Islamic country. It was formed with a kind of Bengali, so-called Bengali nationhood. And this turmoil, which started with job quota, and there it was that the freedom fighters, that means who were supposed to have liberated Bangladesh, those freedom fighters and their families and their next generation would have 30% quota in government jobs. That was the main bone of contention. The students demanded that it should not be there. Government partly agreed, but the High Court disallowed that thing, so they had to go to Supreme Court. In between, the case comes to the Supreme Court and the verdict is given. There has been a week of huge turmoil, violence, brutal killings, and also a wave of anti-India and anti-Hindu agitation within this Quota movement. Now, first it has to be clear there are two issues. One is this freedom fighters quota, and there is another anti-Hindu and anti-India agitation. Now, we have to be very clear that Bangladesh has given, and in fact, that has been transmitted to their next three generations. I mean, Bangladesh has been liberated already 50 years in 1972. That Bangladesh was freed by Bengali Muslims, but they fought, their freedom fighters fought, and they are very proud. And if you listen to any of their lectures, they would say, we have given blood for our freedom. That is a lie. It's not that there has not been freedom fighters. If you go to Bangladesh government's websites, you'll find there are registered number of freedom fighters is 2,35,000, some odd numbers. So roughly 2,35,000. Now, Pakistan at that time, this Pakistan, they had an army of about 1 lakh. When Indian army entered in the end of December, in fact, that 9 days war liberated Bangladesh. That was quite a bloody war. Pakistan lost about 7,000 of its men. India also lost about 4,000. So, and if you see that when Pakistan army surrendered, there were 93,000 prisoners of war which were brought to India. So, if Pakistan had just 1 lakh strength of their army and Bangladesh had 2,35,000 of freedom fighters, was there any need of Indian intervention? So it's a myth of freedom fighting has been created. It is the industry in Bangladesh. A lot of novels, films, other things have been done. In fact, hardly several thousand of these people took part in any kind of war because Bangladesh, with its main party, Awami League, they never had any military wing. So you cannot train the people who joined for 4 months, 5 months in the Indian camp. You can't train them to fight a war with a trained army, professional army like Pakistan. So India had to intervene, and India presented this freedom within 9 days. Now what happened? That they have created this myth of Bangladesh freedom fighters giving, their freedom, not talking about the Indian army and their main sacrifice, to create an illusion that they have done. And that quota thing is going on. Bangladesh people themselves, to the extent, know the reality, so they cannot tolerate this. Secondly, you'll also find in any kind of literature that how many people died in Bangladesh Liberation War. A very number comes as 3 million people. Now, 3 million people who were killed, about 2 million, then 95 or more were 95% or more were Hindus, and they did not die in any kind of war. It was a genocide. Islamic Pakistani army, they carried out a genocide against Hindus, killed in thousands. So, in fact, the Bangladesh liberation has come from the blood of Bengali Hindu. And to be more, accurate, that the demand which Awami League made after they won the 1970 election, and as they had the majority in combined Pakistan, they were supposed to get the ministry, government power. Now, in that their election manifesto, there is no talk of any secularism. There were no talk of any Bengali nationalism. There is no talk of any kind of Bengali language. This demand for the election was mainly this more local power for the East Pakistan. They wanted that they should have their own kind of economic power, then some trade thing, different kind of local thing. It didn't have even any demand for the separation from Pakistan. But anyway, the Pakistan People's Party and Pakistan military, they didn't want to transfer the power that the ministry uh, government to the Awami League, the East Pakistan party. So then all this will happen. So what I first want to say that this, illusion about freedom fighters of Bangladesh should be very clear. This is illusion that has been created, that there's a big number of fighters who fought, freedom fighters, they fought in the war. That is all rubbish. There have been only, even you go to the Bangladesh war liberation war website, you'll find there have been some 4, 5, some frontal wars with the Bangladeshi, these freedom fighters. But that's all. The major fighting was for 9 days, Indian army versus Pakistan army and Indian army. Now, why these students, this movement, demanding a very common thing that there should be no, this quota for this thing. A very common thing even in India, this kind of things happen. But what happened that last 15 years, Sheikh Hasina of Awami League is ruling the country. Now, if you see, after Bangladesh liberation in 1972, the first election, or rather 73, the first election, Awami League won, because they brought the liberation. They got elected. After 1973 or 72, I may be 1 year that, there was no proper election in Bangladesh till 1990. In fact, there in between there was coup, there was re-election which was not accepted by international community even in the Bangladesh. Then there was some kind of a agreement that election in Bangladesh would be held under a neutral government, which is called caretaker government. That caretaker government only for, running the election, that would be mostly the caretaker election would be the Supreme Court Chief Justice and some kind of this kind of members they will run. So that was done. And in that election, first Begum Zia won. Then in next election, in just 15 years before 2009, Sheikh Hasina won the election. But after she won the election, because this clause of the government, that is this special government, caretaker government, was included in Bangladesh constitution. After Sheikh Hasina came into power 2009, this was removed from the constitution. And all next elections were held just as any other country is controlled by the election, the government, which forms an election commission. So this was a major objection from the main opposition party, BNP, Bangladesh National Party, which was in power before, that you have come to power with this caretaker government election, but you are not doing it. And you have to remember that for last 4 elections in Bangladesh, Awami League has won without that any caretaker government co- coordinating the election, and there has been a rampant, there has been rampant, I mean, uh, intervention in election by the ruling party. In fact, that has not been recognized by the opposition party. So there was a growing feeling in the Bangladeshi people, whichever party it is supporting, that this government, which is now the latest, they have owned nearly all the same, that it is they are not properly elected. Now, with this agitation from the students, which started to become violent, they joined, and that anger, that uh, uh, I mean, this anger on the government and the ruling party also helped in flaring this movement. And of course, the opposition, mostly Bangladesh National Party, but they are all associates, are more Islamic fundamentalist parties, Jamaate Islam, and their students wing is Islamic Chakraborty, and they are quite helped by international Islamic organizations, even armed by their Islamic organization, because we have seen that even there has been a exchange of fire between the government forces and the anti-government forces. So it all fared. So what he found that this was not a normal students movement what we see. Then of course the participation was huge. At the beginning there was an attack by the ruling party students organizations Chakroli, but rather they were outnumbered. They in fact left the scene, and then came this Islamic students group, and that also brought the anti-India. Of course, there is a perception in Bangladesh, maybe partly right, that this Sheikh Hasina government is totally supported by government of India. In fact, it is there in the power because of the support of government of India. And second, they want to wash away this Indian contribution to Bangladesh liberation. So this anti-India sentiment, which is basically anti-Hindu sentiment, that were infused into this movement. And we found that unnecessary. The Hindu students were targeted. All there are a number of slogans against India. There was threatening that Hindus should leave Bangladesh. And in fact, whatever our information comes from friends and other sources, that again a number of Indian Hindu community, Bengali Hindu community members, they are thinking of again that there is again they have to leave the country. So this has brought the situation. And also, whatever we have found that government of India has always failed to uh, deal with this Bangladesh situation properly. We have seen that just 3 years back, the attack on the Hindus, Hindu temples, these are a common incident in Bangladesh. And never government of India has any strategy that how to how to stop this. There should have been something that there should be some agreement. And if these things happen, there should be some reactions from government. It can be economic, it can be diplomatic, it can be different kind of thing. But we have seen that government of India, whichever party it is, whether it is the so-called Hindu party, BJP, or the Congress, they have only one weapon, that is appeasement. We have found that this government, central government, in the last 10 years has granted so many things in the name that otherwise Bangladesh will go to China's hand or this or that. The issue of the Hindus in Bangladesh has never been a serious concern for government of India. Remember, these are the issues of partition. And time of partition, our leaders have said, they have promised that they will always take concern on the Hindus who are staying in Pakistan, East Pakistan, or West Pakistan. Anyway, West Pakistan, there are nearly no Hindus. But in Bangladesh case, we found that government of India has no very clear policy of how to stop the continuous attack on the Hindus in Bangladesh. And you can found that, as has been already mentioned by Onemetro, that after Bangladesh was found after 1972, nearly 10 million Hindus already have crossed this kind of population Hindu percentage from 15%, or rather more than that 18% at the time of Bangladesh. Now it has reduced to around 7.5, something like that. So we have found that a few years back, there has been a series of attacks on the biggest festival of Hindus, Durga Puja. But government of India just had this reacted with a statement that okay, Bangladesh government is taking, uh, I mean, some steps. They have controlled the situation. It's a lie. They could not control the situation.
So,
It
Dr.
went for
Roy, Dr. Roy, just a minute. I would like to know that what makes the government of India so submissive to Bangladesh?
again, please.
What makes the government of India so submissive?
Well, I think uh, government of India, they when it was the uh, Congress government, we found that they were from the beginning, from the Jawaharlal Nehru's time, they had a belief that the Hindus would be protected there by the local government, because in 1950s Jawaharlal Nehru, after in 1950s there was a big anti-Hindu riot, genocide, and nearly several lakhs of people came out. Even the Jogendranath Mondal, who was a law minister of Pakistan and who has been shown as a Dalit Muslim or scheduled caste Muslims unity model, he fled himself from East Pakistan and came to India. Now, what was the step taken by government of India? Jawaharlal Nehru, the then Prime Minister, he made a treaty with Pakistan Prime Minister Liaquat Khan. In fact, he also ousted me after several months after that. When he was a civilian minister. That the Hindus or Muslims, they will go back to their own country. The Muslims who have gone from West Bengal to East Pakistan, they will come back. Hindus who have come from East Pakistan to Bengal or Assam, they will go back to East Pakistan and their government should take care of them and they will be resettled. But it could never have been done. In fact, Nehru had only two Bengali full-time ministers in his cabinet, Shama Prasad Mukhopadhyay and K.C. Niyogi, Kirish Chandra Niyogi, a veteran Congress person, a very literate person. Both of them resigned. That this treaty has sealed the fate of the Bengali Hindus. There will be one way flow. The Hindus from East Pakistan will continue to come and they will never go back. And rather, the Muslims who went to East Pakistan, they will come back again in West Bengal. In fact, that happened. 75% of the Muslims who went from West Bengal, they all come back and resettled in West Bengal very well. But there is one-way traffic. This was, and this attitude to Bangladesh situation went on for next 3 decades. There is no reaction that if there is a attack on the Hindus, there is a major attack on the Hindus, government of India should take this kind of steps. As I said, it can be different kind of things that the government would decide. No? And in fact, we will not only blame the government of India, it is also the West Bengal elected representatives from all the parties, Congress, left, they also never bothered much. There have been some uh, repercussions here and there in West Bengal several times, but it is not nothing to match anything for what happens in East Pakistan. And after Bangladesh, India was so complacent that even they changed their citizenship act also to the extent. Because any in Citizenship Act in 1955, it say that anyone from Pakistan, undivided India, can come to India. They have a right to be citizen of India. They have to do some kind of formalities, filling up, but they have a right to be citizen of India. After 1972, people who come from Bangladesh as a refugee, they have no right to be citizens of India. It was there till 2019, a new act. So, as I said, that the government of India was never serious about Bangladesh. And we found that India government goes on doing one way, different kind of economic help, other kind of exchange of cultural things, without understanding the situation of Bangladesh. We have to understand that Bangladesh issue is not only a matter of riot or violence to the Hindu. They have culturally, they are culturally taking up all the Bengali heritage and claiming it their one. They're making Islam, they're changing in Bengali language. They have changed the Bengali Hindu almanac. And they are putting all the Islamic kind of things in Bengali culture and claiming it as a Bengali culture. Bengali Hindu's culture is also threatened in West Bengal. And most important, what the government of India, all the parties, including this BJP in now power, this issue of infiltration, which has changed West Bengal's demography. We have changed West Bengal's security, which have increased Islamic terrorism and violence in West Bengal. These are all based on the infiltration, the mass migration of Muslims from Bangladesh. Government of India has not taken it very serious. So the attitude of government of India, and again I say that this is also to blame of the people of West Bengal. People of West Bengal and the people representatives of West Bengal, they have also tried to wash away all these difficulties. They just try to say, no, no, okay, they are our brothers. We are, this is communal harmony. We all both are Bengalis. This kind of sentiment has pervaded in the West Bengal's cultural milieu, and that has tried to, in fact, our media, they never publish what happens to a everyday Bangladesh to the Hindu. We are grateful to some of the Bangladesh intellectuals like Abul Barkat and uh, other major, I just can't the names. They have done enough for the Bengali Hindus there, representing their rights, documenting the attacks on them, making films of them. These are all Bengali liberal Muslims. But the counterpart in West Bengal, hope with of future. They don't can't think that well, India is there, West Bengal is there, we can do something. So I think that it is a time for all the Bengali Hindus, basically in West Bengal, to rethink the whole situation. And again, I'm saying there are tomorrow, or partly it seems that Bangladesh has come down because Supreme Court has taken the decision that there will be no quota. I think or 5% quota, something like. So the major demand of the students have been met. But of course, students have other demands. Nearly 150 people have died by police students. That is the major brutal attack on this. They want the punishment of the police officials who have done it. They want an inquiry on that. They want a compensation on that. These are very standard and natural demands. But I think that uh, this issue was was converted into not only a student issue, became a Bangladesh social and political issue. And I think that uh, this will impact the Bangladesh political instability and others, because the Islamic groups who think, and in fact, Bangladesh in last 30 years have culturally gone into totally in a Islamic fold. If you see the Bangladeshi uh, women, you'll find that since it has become a part of the Middle East. If you see the different kind of cultural things and other things, it has lost all its secular uh, Bengali thing, which was even held during the East Pakistan days. But after Bangladesh, next few decades, it has changed so. So, and this movement, I think, has brought up a new situation, and the Hindus have to worry that is there any future there?
So, do you think that India has contributed much to create a new East Pakistan?
Sorry, is India a new East Pakistan?
No, so my question is, do you think that India has created much to create another East Pakistan in the name of Bangladesh?
So it's true. You see, in fact, it is an East Pakistan because if you see the Lahore Resolution 1940, which was the basis of formation of Pakistan, it said that there will be several sovereign Muslim majority states. Even Lahore Resolution, in fact, which is the most respected resolution, and in Lahore there is a, I mean, Minar, which is called Minar-e-Pakistan. And even one of our Prime Minister, Atal Bihari Vajpayee, went and showed his respect to that Minar. Now, that Lahore resolution very specifically stated that there will be a number of sovereign Muslim majority states out of it. So, there is no naming of Pakistan. After 7 years after the Pakistan came, the East Pakistan and East Pakistan, and now, in fact, after the formation of Bangladesh, Abul Mansur Ahmed is one of the most important politicians of Pakistan and Bangladesh. He was a prime minister for few months in combined Pakistan. And he's a very, respected politician in the way. He said that government of India has helped us to fulfill the Lahore resolution, because there were talk of sovereign states, Muslim majority. So now we are another sovereign Muslim state out of India. So it is a Pakistan still now. And I again what I have said, that when this election was took in 1970, and you remember, India already then had 5 general elections in 1970. Pakistan was then having this first election where there is one man, one vote, a democratic election was being held. Army League own it, but in their demand on the basis of this election manifesto, this called 6 point demand. There is no demand for a separation from Pakistan. There is no issue of secularism. There is no issue of any kind of minority protection. There is no issue of Bengali cultural protection. Nothing. It was just that the Eastern Pakistan needs this kind of economic powers, and also they wanted some kind of a military power, because they think that if India goes on aggression, they are not much protected. They should something. So these are the issues. So they never wanted to be out of Pakistan, and Pakistan, the constitution of Pakistan says this is the Islamic state of Pakistan. It's very clear. They say in Pakistan's constitution is written, when East Pakistan was part of it, that in this constitution, final any decision will be raised from the basis of Islam. And all these Pakistan parties, including they never debated that. So after the 1972 Bangladesh was uh, created, their first constitution was no doubt secular. They had these all secularism and other things in it. It was just a nearly copy of the Indian constitution. But that all changed within 5-7 years when there was a military coup. Then this military president come. They made it the state religion as Islam. Now the Bangladesh constitution also starts with this faith on Islam. So it's nothing different from Pakistan anymore. And remember, Pakistan is Bangladesh government does not believe in any minority. There is no. They say that we are all Bangladeshis, or they call themselves Bengalis also. Like Bangladeshi, this Ziaur Rahman called the Bangladesh citizen as Bangladesh. Then Sheikh Hasina has changed it that they're Bengali. They say we are Bengalis, there is no majority mind. So this any kind of minority protection, any kind of minority commission, any kind of that doesn't exist. And the country's main religion, the state religion Islam. So it is right that India government of India has made the successfully has helped to implement the Lahore resolution, which talks of a number of sovereign states, not a united common Pakistan.
Great, sir. Great. So, Dr. Rai, I would like to know from you. So, does India have any ally in Bangladesh at all? On one side, there is Zamat, and on the other side, there's Sheikh Hasina, who has played a gallant role in Islamizing the entire Bangladesh in the last 1.5 decade. So, my question I do repeat, does India have any positive ally in Bangladesh since the anti Indian tirade, the anti Indian attitude is at the zenith in Bangladesh at this moment?
See, international relations, friends and allies change with time, change with political situation. There are two issues. One is that what is happening to the Bangladesh society. Whoever is in power in last 50 years, the Bangladesh society has been more Islamized. And that Islamization is not always a very good Islamization. What I have said, they are turning and they the Bengali nationalism in an Islamic Bengali nationalism. And that is sold into the international field. You go to Google, you'll understand that this Bengali nation appeared only 1,000 years ago. They are all everything is 1,000 years. And on this basis that Islam has made the Bengal, this has been very nicely intellectual, cultivated in last 5 decades or 4 decades after the Bangladesh was formed. So the society, because of this thing, has become anti-India. That is very natural. Because any Islamic country and the society cannot be pro-India. Now, for different reasons, say Iran. Iran, because of its relations with Pakistan and others, and their inter-Islam Shia Sunni problem, they sometimes does very friendly relations with Iran, India. These things happen. So Sheikh Hasina, for the time being, is taken as a pro-India. She is also rightly playing her own cards in his way. Bangladesh has taken quite a financial investment from China, but they are also cautious, seeing the different situation in different countries who have taken major loans from China. So they are playing this card. So India has to play this kind of card. There's nothing wrong in it. But as you say, ideological. There is no political major ally in Bangladesh, and that cannot happen. India's only best strength is that still in Bangladesh, there is a very good section of liberal Bangladesh. I said that who are Muslims by religion, they are quite liberal. They are producing different kind of cultural products which are quite, secular and very developed for that society and also for Hindu-Muslim relations. I think those relations is most important to India for an ally, and India have to see how those relations are strengthened. And another thing is that the appeasement cannot be any answer. Strength is will be the only answer. Any attack on Hindu community should be strongly protested, strongly reacted by government of India, and there will be some kind of uh, action. It may be different, as I said before. There can be at least some actions for each thing, just Israel does. That even they may be cultural, they may be financial, so that you cannot take the Hindu minority in Bangladesh as a hostage for your country. We will react. And again, I'm saying that this responsibility is more for the Bengali community, Bengali Hindu community in West Bengal. Unless they raise the issue, their issues are raised in West Bengal Assembly, in West Bengal political forum. Center would always try to play some kind of even a pro-Hindu central government will play some kind of card that we have protested, they will shed some tears. That's all. So I think that unless government of India has become a little more reactive, including the West Bengal, Hindus of Bangladesh have really not much of a future left.
So in 2003, a magazine from Hong Kong, a very famous magazine at the time, Far Eastern Economic Review, came out with an issue like saying, stating that Bangladesh, the cocoon of Islamic terrorism. In 2005, the veteran and respected journalist Hiranmay Karlekar brought out his book called Bangladesh, the Next Afghanistan. So from that time, almost 2 decades have passed. But what has India learned from all this in the last 2 decades?
It's difficult to say, but as far as we get, information and others from media, we do not see that there has been much work, because we find that, say, in case of uh, Chittagong Hill Tract, we have found that there has been the Buddhist community has been there. In fact, in 1948, the Buddhist population proportion in Chittagong Hill Tract was 98%. They have come down to 50%. And there has been always attack on this Buddhist Chakmas and other communities also, both by the Bangladesh military and Bangladesh Islamic group, because Chakmas have also retaliated, but Islamic groups have, I mean, gained their power there. They have reduced the population there. And if you can come to the our border of West Bengal, we have already found that there are so many Islamic terrorists are being arrested, and even some of these terrorists who have been accused for uh, killing of Mujibur Rahman, who are uh, their trial. They stayed in India, hiding in India for more than decades. So West Bengal has become some kind of a rest area for the Bangladesh uh, terrorists. And now we have found that Rohingyas, and it is again I think it is a failure of Indian central government, Indian home government, home ministry. How all these Bangladeshis who come here, terrorists and other things, how they so easily get voter card, PAN card, passport, everything. If you see the case of Rohingyas, in Bangladesh, Rohingyas are allowed only in few selected places. And India, they are now spread all over India. How could it happen unless we have a very, I mean, failed home ministry? Rohingyas are spread everywhere. Even we found that in West Bengal, this one person was named Sheikh Shahjahan. It is said that he went to Myanmar to invite the Rohingyas. Now he went to Myanmar with the passport. So we think that our home ministry, Indian home ministry, has failed to safeguard the interest of India and West Bengal for this aggression, human aggression, demographic aggression, which includes the um, terrorists also in this democratic invasion into India. We had to be more strict, more restricted in all these things. And even they say they get certificates from this and that. You see, if they get a false certificates from a local panchayat or something, the government of India should have arrested that panchayat program. How they could have get, how these 40,000 Rohingyas are roaming all over India, and we think that we have a central government and home ministry. So in West Bengal is threatened and by this Islamic terrorism from Bangladesh. It has become a hub, and we have found that different kind of West Bengal election or in the NTCA movement, there has been only the explosions or armed in, uh, intervention and other thing is also coming from the Muslim community, and which is arms and other things also coming from Bangladesh. So this is of our one of the aspects, even my collectors say that previously it was just some Islamic groups and others who had some pockets. Now the whole society is Islamite so much. It's not that you only need some pockets to do it. The whole country would be a place of Islamic fundamental.
So, sir, according to you, not only West Bengal but also the seven sister states in the northeast India are also on the radar of the Bangladeshi militancy.
See that it was claimed by Maulana Bhasani long back that Assam is ours, Bengal is ours. Without Assam, the Bengal, about rather Bangladesh, is not complete. Now, Assam has a infiltration of much greater extent, which are not discussed. The Assamese people had a great pride in their Assam movement in 1980s that they gave blood, nearly 800 people died, and they also had some concessions from government of India, like university, some refinery. But on the demographic invasion on which this 1980 agitation started, because what happened in 1980, there was a local, election. That was a election for parliament in one constituency, and they found that there has been a sudden increase in number of voters. So that started the agitation. But after all these bloodshed and others, the Assam movement is a total failure. You can just see if you see the census. In 1971, there was 24% Muslim in Bangladesh. I'm quoting the Indian census. In 2011, that 24% has increased to 34%. 2011. I do not know the present because we have another failure by our home ministry that there has been no 2021 census in India. Bangladesh has done. Even all those COVID, different countries have done the census. This is the first time in India we have all decadal census. That was the pride of us that India has a in the census till 1872. Every 10 years. This is the first time we failed. So we don't know what is the present situation. What their Chief Minister Himant Biswa Sarma has said, it has gone to 40%. And it is quite possible. In 2011, it is 24%. It may go if it is gone to 34%. Then it is very likely it has got 40%. And Assam, if a single community has to be taken as the majority, it's not the Assam, it is the Muslim. And these Muslims are Bangladeshi. So it is in a very dangerous. And again, I say, government of India has no understanding of this situation, how to tackle this, how to this 24% to 14%, this 16% Muslim in Assam is foreigner. So what to do with them? Government of India is thinking about. So just for demography, just because of demography, Assam is already in a very critical situation. Besides, Assam had a terrorist movement by that Assamese terrorist organization. That, in fact, is now nearly not there because Sheikh Hasina has seen that that movement doesn't help Bangladesh. Right? In fact, they are all in Bangladesh. They have created their own problem there. So, and that is also taken as an achievement by India, Bangladesh, Turkey, and others. But it has nothing to do because ultimately Assam is in different problem. And this problem will be more complicated because other part of Northeast is being taken by the Christians. In last 70 years, you see Nagaland has been total Christian. Mizoram has been total Christian. Then your Manipur, the Kukis, they are not Christian, but they have been Christian. And there is international money coming to these Kuki people for armed things. They're coming from man. The whole Northeast is in such a situation. So, and there will be a ally with the Islamic terrorists and this Christian extremists. So, Northeast in a very precarious position unless government of India shows a very strong step. I can give you the example of Mrs. Indira Gandhi. Mizoram was going to be, taken away by the Laldenga and others. Mrs. Gandhi bombed, and now a lot of people criticize that government of India has bombed in his own citizens. If that was not done, that's I think in 1978 or something like that, when Mrs. Gandhi was, or 75, something like that. Otherwise, that would have been, they would have, declared an independence. So, we have to take some strong decisions, strong things, not to think that, oh, I will manage it somewhere. So, I think government of India will rethink, and these are all also linked with the Assam and Bengal's fate are linked. The, Assam's position goes like this. Bengal's matter is a matter of time only.
Thank you very much, Dr. Roy, for being with us. And all this brings us to the end, almost the end of the show. Well, I would like to know if there were any questions to Dr. Roy at this moment. I would like to ask if there are any questions from the audience. They can please put on the camera and go on asking. Do you have any questions, sir? Please put on the camera and ask.
I have a small question to Mohit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, sir.
Okay, I'm audible. So I just like to know that we know the last 60 years of Congress era from Nehru, Indira Gandhi, and everything, they are not very much sensitive, and in fact, they are ignorant about the Bengali Hindu for West Bengal and as well as for the Bangladesh or East Bengal. I don't know what happened in the last 10 years, or basically still it's going on. It's going to be
Sir,
11 years.
just a minute. Mr. Arindam, can you show yourself through the camera?
Oh,
now it's okay,
sure.
fine.
Okay, sure. So it's now 10 years gone, and it's so-called Hindu-philic government. But I don't know that what Animitra also asked Mohit, why I don't know. They have the Uri strike, Balakot strike, POK occupation, many things. They have taken part in the Maldives to get the anti-China things done. But what happened to the Bengali Hindus? Bengali Hindus are not part of Indian Hindus. I don't know. Because so-called Hindu-philic government, why so submissive? Why so subdued? Why they, Mohit said that they are little reactive. Why not? Why are they reactive, not responding? Why not their Josho strike, Rajshahi strike, or Dhaka strike, Norail strike, Chattogram strike? So there is no, and one thing I want to mention, there is not only two states, it's Assam, West Bengal, Tripura, and Meghalaya. Is totally now accommodating huge level of not Rohingyas, general Bangladeshi Muslims, because these Bangladeshi Muslims are wiped out is very interesting. That is not wipe out by genocide. They are wipe out for their better employment, better militantism from different parts of the Bangladeshi village, Bangladeshi town, not to Europe and US. They are coming to India by 128 border of these four states. So why this Indian government, not only Home Ministry, the Prime Minister, the Ministry of External Affairs, Ministry of Defense are so much reluctant that all demographies change, all destiny of the Bengali Hindu is changed. I want to know the reason.
Thank you. Thank you. Let Dr. Roy respond.
Well, I really have no answer to that. One answer is that this government does not have, they may have some proper intelligent information and all other things, but they do not have much information from the ground level of West Bengal, what is the situation and other. And it is really sad that in reality, we have not seen much change from the Congress era. And if you see the Bangladesh situation very recently after these abuses of Hindus and others, government reaction is just some bureaucratic statements, that's all. And for Rohingya situation, it is, I mean, very, I think, what do you say, very difficult to say why government of India is so talented. See, external affairs is one thing, but when they come inside India, that is the Home Ministry's job. And they have failed, and there's no reason to fail it such a right? So we have really, I cannot answer these questions. Really, everybody is saying why this. I mean, what everyone expects us to be go Hindu. What they have done in Bangladesh, that they have, Ramna Kalihari has been rebuilt. That also has not been properly rebuilt, because Ramna Kalihari's architecture was a very special architecture of that time. It has been rebuilt as a different architecture. That's not proper. It's not proper. But anyway, just giving some goals here and there, that doesn't help. There has to be a strong political, administrative message to Bangladesh that we do not accept that and we can react. But anyway, we have wasted us 10 years on these issues. And we have just more, I mean, routes are opening with Bangladesh. If we just go to Darjeeling and others, we find that they have been taken over by Bangladeshi tourists. But is there any check really on them? How many Bangladeshis come and get all these their cards and passport and everything. So I also wonder, I have no answer.
Certainly. Thank you. Well, is there any other one to raise any questions? Any quick questions, sir? For anyone else? You can ask always in Bengali if you want, or in any Indian language. Certainly Hindi, that can be understood by us. Is there anyone? Any more questions, sir?
I want to ask a question.
Can you, sir, put on your camera, please, sir? Can you put on your camera?
Okay.
Please put on your camera.
Yes. Am I
please go on.
okay? Hello, I am Swarnava from Kolkata, and I want to ask a question regarding this topic that we all know and we are much more aware through all your topics and all your talkings, that the Bengali Hindus are now in a very serious situation, not only in Bangladesh but a huge part of West Bengal. But my point is that how about the awareness? What about the awareness among the common Hindu people, where I personally most of the time I see that most of the Bengali Hindus, especially the urban Hindus, they always show sympathy to the anti-Hindus, even if they know that could be a disastrous one. Why? On where we are lagging on this awareness level? That's my query.
Thank you, Mr. Mukherjee. Thank you, Mr. Mukherjee. Dr. Roy, please.
Okay, we have two legacy, right? One is the leftist legacy for last more than 5 years or more. And that has, given us a thing that, the religion should not be the main issue, the economy is main, we are all brothers and all these things. And that want to whitewash all this stuff. And secondly, the same is done by our religious institution. They have said all religions are same, and in all the major Hindu organizations here, they keep mum when there is attack on the Hindu people, even in West Bengal and in Bangladesh. So that legacy is going on. Our media is also doing, and we are fooling ourselves saying that all Bengalis are brothers. We have a common language, but it's not true. A language does not make a nation, right? A language is only part of it. It's culture. So a Bengali speaking person, if he does not have any faith on the Indian culture or 5,000 years of culture, tradition, then even he speaks Bengali, he is not a Bengali. Just like a person speaking English is not an Englishman. He can be Australian, he can be American, or he may be a Caribbean. Right? So we have given a wrong perception throughout our media, our intellectuals, our IT, all these refugees. I've taken the intellectual refugees, say Ritik, Gautam, Prinal, Shen, they're all refugees. And if you see the Shankho Ghosh, and then the major, they are all refugees, but they have only talked about the refugee issues as an economic issue in West Bengal. They are living a very wretched life here in their slums and colony things. They never mention why they become. So somehow our people of West Bengal have been also properly informed about the situation in East Pakistan and Bangladesh, and also now in West Bengal, and also given a justification for all these things. So that has, I mean, very difficult to have a proper awareness. But I think the situation is changing. The people are all now, becoming aware of the situation, not because of all our any effort, also because of more. They are now seeing it in their doorstep that what's happening there around. So I hope, only I can say that I hope the situation.
It's wonderful to express the hopes and aspirations. And we do also hope that Hindus would get aware with each and every day it passes. We do hope that the Hindus will come out of their myths, will bust out all those fabrications of thoughts and truth, and they will have to realize what the brutal reality is. Thank you, Dr. Roy, for being with us
Thank
today in
you
this
all.
evening. Thank you, audience, for being with us. And will this interview shall be broadcasted? I think more and more people will like it, since Dr. Roy has come out with beautiful explanations, pragmatic explanations, and also lashed at the Indian government's apathy and the incapacitated endeavors to deal with this Bangladesh turmoil. Thank you. Thank you all. Good night for now. Namaskar.
Good night.